What is great, though, is the potential, the future of Cooper Flagg. And yesterday was Flag Day. It was the first Summer League game for the first overall pick. Brenden Whitted was watching it. Also, Bronny James. You could have gotten in, apparently, to where they play in this in Vegas. You could have gotten in for like $600. That was apparently the cheap ticket for Bronny versus Cooper in a Summer League game. I don't have that kind of cash for that.
That's stop playing.
No, I don't.
I know you got that big bank.
I know I can't. No. I don't. I don't have that. I don't. It's radio, man. This ain't TV.
The crazy part is, like, I mean, I remember I went and covered Summer League a gazillion years ago, and it was so much cheaper. But it's become this huge thing, and it's so much. It's fun, right? I always have to do this with myself, though, whenever I'm watching Summer League, because inevitably it'll happen. I would have just finished the NBA, and I've kind of got a little bit, you start after about like a couple weeks, I start fiending again. I'm like, I want to watch more NBA ball. And so Summer League is right there, is right after the draft. So you're really excited about these players. You always have to temper expectations and temper whatever thing you take away from it. Right. So, like, hey, you could see somebody like Cooper Flagg. He goes 5 for 20. Don't start overreacting saying, hey, this guy, the shot is broken. No, he is going to need a shot. And I thought Tim Legler was really good on the call. Like, yes, something at the top of his shot with his wrist. There is a little bit of a weird English as the ball comes off. I think they'll fix that. I think they'll clean it up. And even in the meantime, in between time, he has so many good things that he gives you. But it was fun to see him and Brownie and RJ Davis all on one court together, get this chance to see some prospects I really wanted to check out. Yeah, we know Con Knipple is going to play, I think, tonight. We're going to see Sion James on the court because the Hornets are playing. Tyrese Proctor played last night. Yep. We saw Proctor. I think he had 14 points, 3 of 7 for 3. DJ Stewart, hey, he was at Duke for like a meal or so. But he played. Hold on. Don't forget UNC legend Pete Nance. Pete Nance played, and Cormac Ryan actually. He was also in that same Milwaukee game. He had actually a really good game from that. Had 18 points off the. I wouldn't be shocked if Cormac Ryan could find his way deep into an NBA bench. He had a decent G League season with the OKC, whatever their G League affiliate is. He had a decent season for them. Like there were times when he looked really good. I think his age scared some people off and stuff like that. But he wouldn't shock me if you saw him get called up. Or get signed and then called up somewhere. Oh, we're going to get back to Flagg in a second, but just a player like Cormac Ryan, who I guess had the reputation of being a great shooter, even though he was not a great shooter, had more all-around game to his credit than a lot of people gave credit. And if the shot refines itself to the point where he can shoot mid to high 30s at the NBA level, the rest of his game becomes something that NBA teams could use as an 8th, 9th, 10th man. And who knows, man? Peyton Pritchard is a player. Why can't I mean I'm not knocking Peyton Pritchard, but if but that's fair. And honestly, RJ Davis was the comp for me. Somebody asked me, because I've been pretty consistent. I think RJ can play at this level. And then someone asked you, like, who do you see, who you project out to be? I think because that's the easiest and quickest way to get somebody to, okay, you think he can play. What does his role look like? And it's Peyton Pritchard, right? Okay. And early on in Pritchard, a bit of a defensive liability. Teams are going to go after him, hunt him because just a smallish guy, kind of like RJ, who also has his struggles defensively. But a guy who can put it up. Now, Pritchard also shot at a prolific rate. And RJ, despite the fact that it seems like he should be, like his numbers should indicate that he's an all-time great shooter because you put up some of these magnificent performances and you see what type of all-time scorer he is for UNC. The numbers haven't really played that out. And he's going to need to shoot a high percentage. He's a smallish guard, really more of just a small 2. He's not a great facilitator by any means, although he can navigate a screen and roll situation. He has to hit it at a high level because you saw some of it last night when he was playing Nembhard. Nembhard's little brother, whose first name I forgot, forgive me, But Nembhard's little brother went off, was going crazy, and he looked very much like the cat from the Indiana Pacers. You could tell that they grew up playing alongside one another. Just the way that he carries himself, there's no fear at all in what he's doing. He goes to his spot and he gets there and he makes plays. And you had that hard-nosed defense. He was picking guys up 94 feet, right? Like he was getting after it. There was no hesitation about, I can't stay in front of guys or guys are going to get past me. No. He was locking folks down, had a couple of tips and steals. So, like, for Summer League, you have to show who you are. And that means that you're not going to get a chance to play real team ball. And I think for especially guys like Cooper Flagg, that hurts a little bit because he is a guy that distributes. These guys that just started practicing with one another about 3 days beforehand. And while he is a good creator, I wouldn't want him as the primary creator on any team that I'm on that's talking about going far into the playoffs or something like that. It wouldn't shock me if they kind of started off with some of that stuff. They did something similar with Aaron Gordon when he was with Orlando.
Okay.
Because, whatever. Y'all weren't finna win nothing, no way. So go ahead and try some stuff out. And that'd be fine. But when Kyrie gets back and they really get into some sort of real motion in terms of, hey, we're going to be a winning team, that's a little bit too much to put on his plate right now. But he looked really, really good in the other aspects of the game, even though the shot wasn't falling.
Yeah, look, we watched him. Brenden Whitted is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. We watched Cooper, for however many games, right? He missed a couple with the ankle injury at the ACC tournament, but we watched him all year. And we know the all-around game. We know the fact that Duke ran their offense through him. That he is, and we saw some of it last night. We saw the coast-to-coast dunk, but we also saw coast-to-coast negotiating in traffic and then finding people. One of the highlights I saw was Cooper driving it deep and then kicking it back out to Nembhard for a wide-open three-pointer. He had all day long to shoot that. Great defense. Great transition defense by the Lakers there. So we saw the all-around game, and it's those other things that he does that, at least in year one, is probably going to allow Dallas, like, you know what, he's shooting 39% from the floor, but we don't care because there's 9 rebounds, there's 3 blocks, there's 6 assists because he does all of those other things.
That's the comp that I gave him was Ben Simmons coming out like, hey, he's going to struggle a little bit in terms of shooting. Now just hold on, stay with me, just stay locked in with me right quick. Go. Keep in mind,
is that a positive?
In his first 4 years of playing in the NBA, he had 3 All-Star appearances and a Rookie of the Year. He was on the Hall of Fame projection before either the back or the mental or whatever just went haywire. Like he was on track to really live up to that number 1 status. That's the cool thing about Flagg. Yes, the other stuff is going to come, but everything else is still NBA caliber for him already. I think he's going to be a good defender. I saw him navigate on a couple of these screens on the perimeter with no trouble at all. And this he's 6'10", 230. So this is not a small man by any stretch of the imagination. He's only going to get bigger probably, but he was able to comport himself defensively on the perimeter. And that's something that is always kind of can give you a sigh of relief if you're a coach, because you can't play and drop all the time. Sometimes you're going to switch. Sometimes you need a head. Sometimes you need to ice, or sometimes you need to double. Whatever it is, you need somebody that's comfortable operating in space. He's clearly capable of doing that, and you don't have to put too much pressure on him playing the center position because you got a gluttony of them for the Mavericks.
The biggest difference between he and Ben Simmons, and I get your comp because it's all the other things that Flagg does that Simmons could do. Distribute, handle, defend, rebound, all of that. But 5 for 21 from the floor in your Summer League debut. I believe it took Ben Simmons a year to attempt 21 shots. So that is the separator between Cooper Flagg and Ben Simmons.
If Ben Simmons has 100 haters, you're one of them. If Ben Simmons has 1 hater, you're one of them. And Ben Simmons has no hater, you have passed away. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the consistency, sir.
I've never liked it, but that's fine. I recognize the overall game with Ben Simmons. Look, if you're afraid to miss and you don't shoot, you never miss.
Yeah. I mean, it capped him unnecessarily, gave him a ceiling unnecessarily that his talent didn't seem to. But the other part is, one, you mentioned it, the 21 attempts, Simmons will just stop shooting at some point.
Yeah.
But even at even at LSU, there did seem to be a lack of kind of a fire with what going on. That team had a lot of talent on it.
Yeah, that was.
And then for whatever reason, now that wasn't all on Simmons, but one of the things that they talk about Flagg is about that competitive fire. You saw he got into it a little bit with the fans at Summer League. They had talked a little bit of junk, and he hit a turnaround right over Bronny and gave it back to him a little bit. And I like to see that kind of stuff. Like, it's Summer League. There's he played a ton of minutes.
32.
There's no reason he should have been out there as long as he was, other than one, the staff feels comfortable with having him play, sure, but two, he wants to play. Mm-hmm. And that's what everybody kind of talks about with him. And those sort of intangibles, you can't, there's no accounting for other than, hey, I just really want to go hoop. And so that's something that you have to have if you want to be an all-time great player.
Final thing about this, I'm going to let you go. A few years back, the last, hyped to this point, Summer League debut was probably Zion Williamson. And Zion played the one game.
Wemby.
Well, yes, good point. And actually the same thing with Wembanyama. They played once, and we're done. Yep. We don't need you. I don't see that happening. I think Dallas. I think Flagg's going to play. And this is not a negative towards Williamson. It's not a negative towards Wembanyama, because I think you alluded to it. There's a different way that Cooper approaches the game than those guys approach it. And again, this is not a negative on them. It's more about highlighting that Cooper is different. And I talked about this in the opening of the program. There are a lot of things that separated Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant from their peers. Their competitiveness was, aside from the incredible talent, their competitiveness is really what drove them higher. And I think that might end up serving Cooper Flagg really well.
And being on a team that's not completely destitute.
Oh, God.
Usually, number one picks do not go to teams this stacked, usually.
You got to be Magic, right?
Yeah. Well,
Magic going to the Lakers didn't hurt, right?
That was helpful. Penny going to the Magic, I guess. He wasn't number one pick. I guess Chris Webber was technically.
Chris Webber was.
Like they, the trade and the whole. Yeah, no. Look, I while I am still salty that Charlotte didn't, for whatever reason, just seems to keep missing out on generational talents whenever we have the opportunity to draft that high. I am glad that we'll get a chance to see him play meaningful basketball sooner than we usually do for draft picks that go that high.
I think Dallas might. I don't think it would be a terrible pick to see Dallas in the NBA Finals. They've got a lot of good players in it.
Orlando Magic to the Eastern Conference Finals, by the way, that Tyus Jones pickup was sneaky nice for them. They finally got a place setter. There. I think that's going to – all right. I'm going to FanDuel right now. Brenden Whitted, my man. It said basketball brain. That's right. It says basketball brain at HU Cosell. My man, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Love it, man. Appreciate you.
You got it.